Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to day 56 of my learning journey in Blender. This is Daily CGI. Just a quick shout out to all the newest subscribers to the channel. I think the YouTube algorithm had a part to play in that. So it's always awesome to see. I'm seeing a lot of fellow beginners out there starting to watch these videos. Some more seasoned Blender users are also taking an interest in my progress over the past few weeks and showing their support as the year rolls along. So it's just really awesome to see. And when I started this, I never really expected many subscribers. I never expected it, but I really do appreciate it. So cheers for that, guys. Anyway, getting right into today's video, I continued following John Dickinson's tutorials on YouTube. I did a how to create a cosmetic tube in Blender tutorial. I'm just chipping away at learning decent methods of creating these types of objects that you'd find around the house. I'm sort of doing that one day at a time. I will note that every so often I'm hit by a feeling of I'm going too slowly, I'll never make any progress at this rate, I may as well give up. But the reality is that I'm still very early on in this learning journey. Even by following fairly simple tutorials, I'm actually still learning quite a lot. Just as a random example, I've jotted this down, by watching this John Dickinson tutorial, I discovered that you can control the bevel shape by pressing P during the bevel. Then you can control whether it has a concave, a convex, or sort of the amount of flatness the profile has. Just little things like that tend to slip me by every now and then. I didn't see that in the Blender documentation, and I hadn't come across it in a tutorial until now. So it just goes to show you that little things like that can crop up that seem like they'd be very good to know and very useful to memorize. So I'll do a quick rotation around the object. I'll just tell you what else I've been doing in terms of studying. So yeah, this was cool. This could apply to all sorts of cosmetic type objects. You see this kind of tube a lot, don't you? So there's that. This was pretty complicated for a beginner like me. That's why I wanted to learn it. And then this was a little more simple, but I don't know if I did it 100% right. I've got these edge loops here that might be a bit too sharp or maybe not belong, but yeah. I think I did a pretty good job. Anyway, that was that. Then I watched more of the Blender Animation Fundamentals tutorial series. This time it was basic body mechanics. So I watched what process they followed to animate an armless version of their Sky character model to make them jump. So I didn't actually do it myself. At this point, I feel like I've gone as far as I can go in terms of animation. I want to sort of get better at the basics first. I mean, these things take time, and I haven't practiced enough. Drag and follow through, squash and stretch. There's just way more I can do in regards to getting a better grasp of all of that and how those can be used to great effect before attempting to move on into complex movement cycles and whatnot. So, I'm going to pace myself, I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to let myself be a beginner. There's no point rushing it entirely, right? So that's all I did in Blender tonight, but I also I continued reading the Disney Illusion of Life book. So I'm actually really starting to, I have the whole way, but I'm really enjoying the experience of reading this damn thing. Let's see, one thing I started doing is every time that they reference in the book a particular scene from one of their animated films or shorts, I'll actually look it up on YouTube now and watch the entirety of the clip that they're referring to. They do provide sort of frames of specific character animation in the book all on the same page, but because I'm a beginner, my brain can't even really begin to translate that into meaningful animation in my mind just by flicking my eyes over the frames on the same page. So YouTube videos it is for the time being. But yeah, I watched the Tortoise and the Hare short, and I watched a particular Pluto animation sequence where Pluto gets flypaper stuck to his snout, his paws, and various other body parts. It was actually pretty hilarious. It totally reminds me of like Charlie Chaplin films, if you've ever seen those, the old black and white silent films. I'm a huge fan of Charlie Chaplin's filmography. I've got pretty much all the Blu-rays at this point, of all the feature films, apart from like a Marlon Brando film. Like the last film he did apparently wasn't that good, and it's not like a Charlie Chaplin comedy or anything. So, the point being is that early Disney took a lot of inspiration from people like Charlie Chaplin because of their physicality and their ability to express so much humanity and emotion and get the audience to sort of empathize with the character and see themselves in that character, all without actually speaking. And yeah, a lot of Disney animation do that. It's all about the movement. So in particular with this Pluto scene, I noticed they break the fourth wall by making direct eye contact with the viewer. It's a cool technique. Apparently it creates a direct connection between Pluto and the viewer, and it certainly did feel... it adds a certain... I don't quite know how to describe it, but it makes you feel closer to the character, or like you're in on whatever he's doing. So it's fascinating how the animators can express so much without the use of words. A well-timed glance, a shrug, a sigh, it means so much more. So yeah, that Pluto animation is hilarious. There was the original, which I think it's in black and white, but then a couple of years later someone went, a different animator went and remade it, and made slight changes to it. But yeah, they're both really, really good. So that's where I'm at. Enough waffling. I could talk for a long time about Disney, but, you know, I gotta get some sleep. So that's where I'm gonna call it today. Have a great night, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.